finally. Hey everybody, I'm the Linux Gamer, and I just played XCOM 2. It's a turn-based strategy game developed by Firaxis and published by Feral Interactive. XCOM 2 was released February 5th, 2016, receiving a Day 1 Linux launch. I received this game from Feral for the purpose of review. Thanks guys! XCOM 2 feels like a AAA game. It has that certain fresh feeling that big titles often do. However, I do feel like much of the visual style is rather uninspired. Everything here has a certain cliche science fiction feel, and not that polished, hard sci-fi aesthetic. I feel like I've seen the soldiers' armor, the guns, and the alien creature designs before. It feels like any generic campy B-grade sci-fi. I also don't care for the voice acting much in this game. It's hard for me to take this guy seriously.
Hello, Commander. Beams.
The gameplay is what I enjoyed the most about XCOM 2, and rightfully so. I love strategy games. In terms of genres, strategy games are right up there with puzzle games and platformers for me. XCOM 2 is a squad-centric, turn-based strategy game. You have a small group of soldiers, who each have 2 actions per turn. Each soldier can be customized, specialized, leveled up, and tricked out with gadgets and accessories. You can give them names, even name their weapons, change their hairstyle, voice, and their loadouts. You end up getting quite attached to your soldiers. If they get wounded, they won't be available in subsequent missions until they recover, and if they die, they're permanently dead. This is a double-edged sword because one of my biggest complaints about this game is situational awareness. When you don't see enemy units due to visual clutter, you end up moving your units into areas where they're in jeopardy. I once moved my favorite soldier into the wrong area, and she got killed. Well, I rage quit at that point. You move your soldiers one at a time. Each action uses one of the unit's turns. For example, you can move this unit within the blue area, and then shoot or throw a grenade. Or you can move her within the yellow zone, which counts as 2 movement actions and take no offensive action. Once you've gone through all of your squad, it's the computer's turn. The game goes on like this until you achieve your objective, or all your units die. Your objectives are tied directly to the mission you're on. Sometimes there's a limited number of turns, sometimes you have to recover civilians, but no matter what, you need to try and keep your units alive. When you're not on a mission, you micromanage a resistance cell. You determine your base layout, research and development, team composition, which mission to go on, and so forth. XCOM 2 has native Steam controller support. You might think I'm crazy, but this is probably the best way to play XCOM 2, in my opinion. The mere fact that you can use the left pad to control the camera while using the right pad to control the cursor is genius. I kinda wish OpenRA would adopt this. I deliberately delayed doing this review for over a week in the hopes that there would be a patch to solve the myriad of performance issues this game has. I played XCOM 2 on my desktop. Let me remind you about my specs. I've got a 6-core AMD FX running at a stock speed of 3.5 GHz, 8GB of DDR3 RAM at 1600 MHz, and an Nvidia GTX 970. I'm running the latest graphic drivers from Nvidia. Now let's compare my specs to the official recommended Ubuntu specs. So I don't have an Intel processor, but I meet or exceed every other requirement. Why is my performance so poor? The game stutters when generating particle effects. It lags when it loads a new mission. It gags when I issue commands to my units. And it hangs during pre-rendered cutscenes. I mean, I'm not a negative guy, I try to stay positive. But this is not acceptable. This doesn't seem to be a Linux exclusive problem. I mean, this isn't Feral's fault. Windows users are reporting similar problems. During gameplay, I get highs of 60 frames per second and lows a paltry 10 frames per second. You can see in the top left corner of the screen that I'm tracking FPS in all the footage I captured. And it's not my recording setup, because I'm using HDMI encoding hardware that writes to my laptop's external hard drive. And the loading times. I mean, taking over a minute to load is inexcusable. The narrative of XCOM 2 is, well, it takes itself way too seriously. I don't know what it is, but there's something so generic about the story here. The gruff military advisor, the guerrilla insurgency you're waging against the Advent. There's nothing here that grabs me. Call me a sci-fi elitist, but when it comes to futurism and storytelling, I believe it should be used as a means of social commentary. If you're going to tell a story about how aliens came to Earth and started enslaving people, and then the only thing you focus on in the story is a militaristic response, you run the risk of leaving out the essential element of every story: humanity. XCOM 2 is a fun strategy game, but not much more. While I love playing the game, there's a lot here that gets in the way of my enjoyment. The vanilla storyline, the obtrusive cutscenes, the uninspired visual design, and the constant dogged performance issues leave me with a sour taste in my mouth. While you don't need a constant 60 frames per second to enjoy the slow-paced strategy of this title, the stuttering, seemingly unstable mess leaves me unable to wholeheartedly recommend XCOM 2. And that's unfortunate because this is an extremely fun game. It's available for Linux through Feral's website and Steam. Links are in the description. Have you played XCOM 2? What do you think of it? If you have an Intel processor, are you seeing the same kind of performance problems? Leave me a comment and let me know, or tweet at me at @TheLinuxGamer. You can also support the channel over on Patreon. Feel free to check out the rest of my channel, including my previous American Truck Simulator review. If you enjoyed this video, hit that like button and share it with your friends, and make sure you subscribe to see more from me, the Linux Gamer. Thanks for watching.